And oh my god, did it get bonkers. Some of the stuff that was happening, I just could not have ever have guessed. Hello my loves, and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten and we're at the start of another weekly reading vlog, and this week I'm actually kind of busy. I'm doing a few different things here and there. So tomorrow me and my partner are going away. We're going down to Longleat Zoo. We're only going over for a night because neither of us drive. So it's a bit of a travel to get down there, and there's this particular thing we're doing in the morning, so we have to be there by 10 in the morning at the zoo. And because of where it is, there's no way we could have done that unless we were up at like 5 in the morning, which I was not about to do. So we're going down the day before. I'm looking forward to it. I've never been to Longleat Zoo. It's meant to be really good, so that's going to be great. And then towards the end of the week, I've got a few other things going on, like little days here and there planned. So it's going to be quite a busy one. So I don't know how much reading I'm actually going to get done. However, I have one book that I need to read this week. I really want to make progress with it because I'm enjoying it. I just haven't got that far into it, and that is The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi by Shannon Chakraborty. This is the Discord book club pick for the month of August. We have actually got our book club picks chosen for September and October, so if you're interested in what they are and you want to take part, I'll have Discord linked below for you. It's free to join. But yeah, The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi, that is the one that won for this month, and I did start it last week. I actually got it on Libby, but I was busy. I was busy doing other things. I had the full moon readathon going on and stuff. Also, Libby is on my phone. You know, I don't mind reading on my phone. That's absolutely fine. Like, mainly if I'm like on my lunch breaks at work or something, because it's easier than me bringing in my book or my Kindle. Being off, because I've had a bit of time off from work, I don't want to be reading on my phone. So I looked at the Kindle price and it was only $3.49. So I've decided to pick up the Kindle book of this so that I can actually read it on here, because I don't mind reading an ebook on my Kindle. That's absolutely fine to me. It's just sitting there on my phone that I don't like doing if I'm at home. That's what I've decided to do. I'm really pleased that I've done that. I have read the first like opening bit of this book, but I didn't get far into it. I'm liking it. I like the writing style. I think it's really well done. We're following Amina, and she is recounting this tale of how she came out of retirement. She has been approached to do this last job that's to do with a daughter that's been kidnapped. At first she's like, nope, I'm retired, I'm not doing any of this, I've got my own family to think about, etc. But then eventually that she ends up agreeing, and we're starting to see her find her ship, because for the last 10 years she's let somebody else look after her ship. She's got an old poisoner friend back with her. Like, I say friend, like they worked together for years on their ship, but also the last decade Amina's not spoken to them, so you know. But I really enjoy it. I like Amina as a character. I like just the interactions between the different characters. I'm enjoying the actual writing style. I think it's really good. So I really want to carry on with this one and make a good dent. Like, I want to finish it this week. That is what this reading vlog is dedicated for, because I was able to finish off Jan's readathon so quickly last week and got all the books read within the week. I mean, I was really impressed with that, but it has enabled me that this week I have less I need to read. So that's really good, because it gives me the time to actually read this even though I'm going to be busy. So yeah, mainly focusing on this one. I'm enjoying it. It's like I mean, we haven't got to the sea part yet. So it is going to be a sea story because Amina was a pirate. She was well renowned. There was lots of different tales and stuff about her. Some of them are really outlandish. Some of them are factually correct. You know, so Amina is just such an interesting character. I really like her. But yeah, so it's a seafaring fantasy story, but we haven't actually got to the sea part yet. So hopefully that's coming up soon. I think it will be. We've got a bit of train traveling tomorrow and then Tuesday coming back. There is no reason why I can't get more of this read, but we'll see, because every time I think I'm going to read loads when I'm traveling, I end up reading significantly less. I am also thinking of bringing Mary Shelley's Transformation with me. This is a short story collection that's on my TBR for the month. There's only 3 short stories in here. It's only 100 pages long. I don't want to read all 3 in one sitting though. I definitely want to break it up, so I'm thinking I'm gonna bring my Kindle and this with me and then kind of break up reading the Amina book with this. It's kind of what I'm thinking. That's the plan for this week. We'll see. I have had a habit lately of not keeping to my plans and changing things around, so that might end up happening. Who knows? But for now, what I really want to do is get the contact paper done for my wardrobe. When I first moved into this flat a couple months ago now, I had bought contact paper because I had furniture here already. It was left here, and you know, it's good. I've got 2 wardrobes, chest of drawers. It's really, really handy, but I didn't like how they looked. But also I'm renting. Contact paper was a really good solution for this because I'm renting, and it means that when I leave, I can just take the contact paper off and it's back to how it was originally left for me. That's what I would like to do. I would like to get that done. I'm hoping I have enough contact paper to do it all. I'm kind of looking at everything behind me and I'm like, hopefully. But yeah, I would like to get that done today. And then, yeah, then you're going to be seeing B-roll of the zoo, which I'm really excited for. I think it's going to be really good. My mom's looking after my cat for a few days, so that would be nice. Yeah, I think that's everything. We said what we're reading, said what I'm up to. I probably am next going to update Wednesday. I'm going to be really busy tomorrow morning getting Hermione into a cat carrier, getting over to my mum's and everything. So I think I'm just going to update Wednesday, and I'll let you know how the zoo was, and hopefully I've read some good stuff from the books, so fingers crossed. But yeah, I think it'll be a couple days time, but I hope you're all doing really well. Let me know what you've been up to lately. And yeah, okay, I'm gonna go. lovely couple of days. Right now is early morning on Wednesday and I'm going to be going to collect my cat in a moment, but I just thought I'd quickly update here. And yeah, it was lovely. The zoo was really good. We got to see a couple of red pandas and my partner got to feed them, which was great. Honestly, yeah, just a lovely day. It was really nice. It was kind of far to go to, but it was definitely worth it. We had a really nice time, and before we did our travelling down there, we had afternoon tea that my partner had booked, which was really nice. I really enjoyed that. Overall, it was a great time, but I really didn't read that much. Like, I was meant to read a lot more and it just didn't happen. I am up to chapter 12 of the Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi now, and I'm liking this book. I mean, I knew I wasn't going to be reading much. I was very busy and I was enjoying the moment of being there rather than being busy reading. So like even on the train, me and my partner would play card games and stuff. So it was nice just to spend that time with one another. So I didn't read loads, but I am enjoying this book. I think it's really good. There is a couple of things that I forgot to mention. One of them is that between most of the chapters, we get these little parts where the person that Amina is telling the story to, they are the one writing this story, and in between certain chapters you will get almost like snippets of different things. So you'll get some that are about Amina and the different outlandish things people say about Amina and the reputation that she built. Some will be a folklore tale that is to do with the story and the plot line that's going on, and so we get the background of that. And occasionally some are to do with other members of the crew, and you're getting all of these like little background snippets, things that people say about the characters. And you know, it works really well. It's also highlighted differently to the book, so you know what they are. Let me see if I can get an example on my Kindle. So it'll be like this on the page, and then you'll get the actual text of the story there, which I quite like. It adds like another element to the storyline, which is really fun. And just in general, yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm liking our characters. I'm liking the fact that Amina's now realising that she's kind of stuck in this situation, and maybe she really shouldn't have taken this bargain. And she knows all the reasons why she took it, and she knows that reality was that she was always going to. But now the stakes are a lot higher than what she anticipated, and you're learning all these different things, and I like it. At the minute though, it's kind of like a lot of to-ing and fro-ing, going to places, seeing different people, getting information going on, which I don't mind that either. So like, this is a good book. It's just, yeah, taken me a bit longer to read, but I will get there. We will get this read this week. Although yesterday evening I did sit and read the first short story of this collection, and I read Transformation, and it was 36 pages long, and it was very interesting. So I just read this one of an evening. Once we'd got back home and stuff, I decided I was going to read this first short story, and I liked it. It's definitely kind of given me Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde vibes in a way, because in Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, you have this character who creates a serum, which it's then to kind of separate your baser instincts and everything from each other, except it goes horribly wrong. And in this story, we have this gentleman who ends up becoming really reckless, really silly. The person that he wants to marry, Juliet, is this lovely, innocent person, and he really loves her father. Her father is also this really kind, gentle person, and he keeps going to our main character like, look, you need to like calm down. You need to like just improve yourself, things like that. Once you've done that, you can marry my daughter. Until then, it's not happening. And our main character's so like, oh, how dare you? And he's constantly being very reckless and doing very stupid things, until one day he comes across this beach. And on this beach, he sees this really kind of like disfigured person who then tells him, hey, if you let me inhabit your body for 3 days, I will give you all this gold and you can set about getting the gold that you want. It all kind of boils down to the fact that what he was really seeing was his inner self. That realization that this is how you're acting, this is how your inner self looks. And even you are disgusted by it, and so why are you behaving in this way? And it's just kind of that questioning, and I liked it. I thought it was good. It was done well, and I just like the way it makes you question these different things, and I feel like you could pull quite a bit from it if you wanted to. But yeah, it was good. A nice little short story. I now have 2 left, so that was really good. So hoping that actually this week we will get both of these done, because I feel like, because it is only 3 short stories, doing a short story every other day won't be too bad. But I've said that before and then it's not happened, so I guess we'll find out. But definitely the priority is to read The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi, which I am liking. Like, I do think it's good. I don't have a reason not to be reading it more. Well, apart from the fact that, well, I mean, all the reasons I've already said. Like, I've been busy the last few days. Before that, it was on my phone, and I didn't want to read on my phone. So, point is, that's what we're going to do. Today, I don't have too much going on. I'm literally just going to pick up my cat, Hermione, and chill. I've got a video to edit, and that's it. So hopefully I will make really good progress with Amina today. I would really like that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to force it. I'm also just enjoying the last remaining days of my time off. I am busy after today, so today's like my last day where I don't have loads going on, and then the next 3 days I'm meeting people every day. So I'm meeting my partner, then my mum, and then my dad with my sister, so busy the next 3 days, so we'll see how much I get read. As long as I get it finished this week, I don't mind, but I also just kind of want to take today to relax and chill and just go with the flow, you know? Okay, well, I've rambled on for like zero reason. I actually need to start another video because as much as I will be reading this book today, I also have another book I'm going to be reading, which that video, I don't know when it's going to come out. It's either going to come out the Wednesday before this, or if this came out on Wednesday, then it's going to come out on the Friday that the normal vlog comes out. But I'm very excited for that video, and I should have more than enough time to get everything done. I guess we're going to find out. But I'm really looking forward to it. So that being said, I need to go and start that video, then have breakfast, and then let's go get my cat because I've missed her. I know she's fine. She's with her mum. It's where she was for years, like when I was living with my mum. So she's very much used to the house. She's used to all the other animals and stuff, but I've missed her. It's time to have her back home with me. Over the last few days, I've only read five chapters of The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi, which, okay, admittedly is not amazing, but you know, I've been busy-ish. Not really, but you know, a little bit. I did do the other Cosy video, which would have come out before this one if it's all edited in the way that I think I'm going to be doing it. So, you know, had that Cosy new release video that came out, had so much fun with it, loved the book, it was amazing. So I was busy reading something else. It's not much of an excuse, but you know, it's where we are. It's where we are. Okay, it's fine. We're now halfway through the book, and we've got, okay, the weekend, because we're on Friday, so we've got 3 days. 3 days to try and finish this book out in, and we can definitely do that. I am liking it. I'm now up to chapter 27, page, I think it's 240-ish. It's on my Kindle, it's kind of hard to tell. Alright, it's not. I'm just lazy. I like the writing style. I like Amina as a character. I like seeing her get her crew back together. I will say the twist that we've had recently in like the last chapter, I expected, but I don't mind that. I actually don't mind that was predictable. I assume there's going to be more like twists and turns as we get later into it. Definitely some of like the stakes are getting higher now as well. I feel like it had a slightly slow start in getting the crew together and stuff, and like I say, there was a lot of going backwards and forwards to different places to pick up people, to have like these kind of little side tangents and stuff before finally getting onto the actual meat of the quest. So I feel like from here on out it's going to be a lot more high stakes, a lot more drama. I feel like it's going to be like quite fast, which I don't mind. And yeah, the twist I did see coming. I'm not going to mention what it is, but it's not a bad twist. It's just one that I saw coming. I don't really have any particular thoughts and feelings on it. I think it makes sense from the way that this book is structured and how we don't know Amina past, like before this point. We get told some of the tales that others say about her and how she got her name for herself and everything, but we don't actually know Amina that well to know before what it was like. We've had one snippet into her past which relates to the twist. I mean, that was done after we had the reveal, which is, I think the way it was done was very good, but it also is not that surprising. But I am intrigued to see where the rest of this is going to go. Like I said, we've got half the book left to go. I can do this. I mean, considering that I did finish out an almost 400-page book in 2 days, there's definitely room for me to be able to do things. Like today I am busy. I'm meeting my mum and my brother and we're going around the town together, but it's not like I'm going to be out all day. And I do have some editing to do. I want to edit the video that I was filming for the last couple of days, but that's still going to leave me with the whole evening to be able to read this and get a good chunk of the way through. So that's what I'm hoping. I assume that by Sunday morning I will have this book finished. That is the plan, because then I would like to move on to the themed weekly reading vlog for the month, which is summer thrillers, which I'm very much looking forward to, and I think it's going to be a fun time, and I think it'll be good to kind of change up what I've been reading with something like that. I don't have that much that I can say about this because I have only read 5 chapters, so I'm now intrigued to see where it's going to go from this point and how all the threads are kind of coming in together. We have this folklore tale based around the Indian Ocean. We get a lot of talk about the Quran. Amina herself is Muslim, and we get a lot of talk around the beliefs that she has and how she's really kind of hoping for the forgiveness side, her belief system, because she's broken a lot of the religion, how you should conduct yourself and things like this. So that's really interesting. But we also have her poisoner on board, who is actually a Christian, and you see how they respect one another's beliefs like that, and I really like that. But yeah, there's kind of like not loads that I can comment on about this book because I have only read 5 chapters, but I promise over the next few days we are really going to knuckle down and get to going. I do have some book mail. This one got delivered the other day. Well, I went to pick it up when I picked my cat up, and this one is a pre-order for a book that I am cautiously optimistic, and that is Ava Reid's new book, Lady Macbeth. I decided not to go for the special edition one because I actually prefer this colourway rather than the red, and I really wasn't a fan of the red sprayed edges with the hair on the spine or on the edges. I was like, it's hair. I mean, I'm fine to have this copy. I prefer this. This one is a retelling of Macbeth, but from Lady Macbeth's perspective. Now, Macbeth is a Shakespeare play, one of the few that I've actually read and I really enjoyed, and I have read a couple of Lady Macbeth retellings, so I'm very intrigued to see how Ava Reid does this. However, this is kind of like the tipping point for me as to whether in future I will go out and pre-order Ava Reid's work, because I have had one book of hers that I adored, which was Juniper and Thorn. Really liked this. This was a retelling of the Juniper tree, and I thought it was really well done. It's something that I annotated. A lot of people had criticisms for this, saying it was too dark, certain things were too... The way certain things were spoken about was too much. I disagree. I think it was done very well, and I think it kept in line with the actual story, the Juniper tree, which if you've read that, it is one of the darkest Grimm's Brothers tales that there is. But then we had Study and Drowning, which I was really excited for because it was marketed as a dark academia book, and it's not dark academia in the slightest. It's really not. It had some connections to like fae and folklore, which I did like, but this is not dark academia at all. It also said it was like a enemies to lovers story. It's not that either. So I feel like the marketing let that book down because I had very different expectations going into it. And then there was her other one, which was The Wolf and the Woodsman, which I really was not that bothered by. Like, this is one that I will probably end up passing on at some point if I end up needing the shelf space, because it was fine. What it was doing was okay. It's just not one that I cared for, really. So out of those 3, we've had one that I really liked, one that was let down by marketing, and one that it just wasn't really for me. And now we have this one, which I am cautiously optimistic about because I do love Macbeth. I love a Lady Macbeth retelling. I'm always curious to see what we're going to do with it. However, if this one doesn't quite land, then I think going forward, I'm not going to be pre-ordering their books anymore. I think I'm just going to stick with waiting to see some reviews come out, then deciding from there whether I pick it up. Maybe I'll get it from the library or something rather than actually purchasing them. I mean, I think her writing is good, like it's slightly darker. I do enjoy it. It's just unfortunate that they haven't all been as good. Like, I read Juniper and Thorn first and I adored it so much, and that really raised my expectations. I will be reserving judgment. I'm not going into it with any expectations. I'm just going to read it and see what I think. Probably won't be happening until a bit later in the year. I definitely want to read it before the end of the year, but I just don't know when. We've already got my September TBR sorted, so I guess if I do get to it, it will be, the earliest would probably be October, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, that's the book mail. You'll have to let me know, do you like Ava Reid? Have you read all of their works? Have you read Lady Macbeth? But yeah, okay, with the Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi, I promise I'm going to make some good progress with it today. I've got nothing else I need to read. I also didn't read any of the short stories from Mary Shelley, that collection that I've read. Just with the amount I was reading over the last couple of days, didn't really want to do that. Priority is Amina Al-Sirafi. We'll get that one read, and then if we manage to squeeze in any of the other short stories, great. If not, I'm not too worried about that. But yes, I promise we're going to get sorted. We're going to get focus and we will get that book finished. I feel like, to me, and this is probably a really poor comparison, but it's a bit like Pirates of the Caribbean. Amina is definitely someone who just takes loads of risks, kind of really stupid things, and I love the Poisoner. I think she is great. I really love her as a character. I think she is great, so much fun and entertaining, and so willing to just create messes. They've also got a cat on the ship that is the most sorry excuse for a cat ever, as far as what they're concerned, because it's missing an eye, which that's fine, but also it doesn't hunt, it doesn't fend for itself, it watches the mice as they run around on the ship. It also has to be hand fed because it doesn't like to actually feed itself. It is the most pampered, lazy cat possible. And yeah, we're just seeing a lot of how Amina's grown, about how her feelings about being a mother, kind of misses what she used to do. She misses all the adventure. She's been staying in one place for the last 10 years to raise her daughter and keep her safe and protected, and how, as much as she loves that, she has also missed being Amina and not just a mum. So I am liking it. I think it is good. I think I've just been too distracted, and now we don't have the distractions, so it's going to be good, which I've repeated. And I feel like this has been a bit of a rambly, all over the place update, but that's where we're at. I'm now going to wrap up the other video that I was doing, and I will see you when I've made progress with Amina, which we will do. A really good chunk of The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi yesterday, which I am very pleased with, and oh my god, is it kicking up a notch. It is getting so good. There is so much going on, and it's taken turns that I wasn't expecting. So apart from the one reveal and thing that happened, which I did expect, I haven't expected anything else that's happened, and I'm loving it because of that. So I'm currently up to chapter 23, page 340. It says I'm 70% of the way through, and I checked and it looks like I've got 10 chapters left to read, but it's so good. It's got so intense, which I'm really enjoying. And I am loving how there are certain lines in here that talks about being a mother, and how there was like a certain line that was about how being a mother can make you into a monster if you're trying to protect your children. Something like that. I'm pretty sure I butchered that. I should have highlighted it and then just gone back to it, but I didn't, and I can't remember what chapter it was in, so that's a lost cause. But it was a really good sentence. This book is so intense, like it's really kicked up a notch, which I'm really enjoying. The pacing has got a bit faster because of it, and just some of the things that are happening, like it's so action based, but there's still a lot going on. There's still a lot of sentiment, and I really enjoy that. Like I think it's a really good mix. Now, something I didn't realise is that this is actually the start of a trilogy, which I didn't realise, and my mum pointed it out to me. We'd met up for lunch yesterday, went into Waterstones, and she picked up this book, and I was like, oh, that's what I'm reading currently, told her a bit about it, and then she went, oh, she was like, oh, it's the start of a trilogy. It said it on the back, and I was like, I did not know that. I genuinely thought that this was a standalone. Does it bother me that it's a trilogy? No, not at all. It's just not something I've heard mentioned anywhere. Honestly, I would continue because I'm really liking this writing style. I think it's a really just engaging, fun time, but also really refreshing because we are following a main character that is that bit older, that does have a daughter, that does have these other things going on, and I really like that. I enjoy it. I think Amina is a really interesting character, and there's just something about it that it just finally clicked. And I think because I didn't have the distractions of all the other books that I'm reading, and I was able to just focus in on this, I was able to finally give it that, well, focus that this book deserves, and it just clicked into place on how much I was liking it. Beyond just the writing style, I also started really getting engaged with the plot line and the things that were happening. I still stand by that it is a bit of a slower start, but I don't think that goes against the book in any way. Things are definitely picking up, which you would kind of expect coming towards the end of the book. And I'm looking forward to see where it does actually leave off and where does this continue on. Like, I'm intrigued. Does it mean that the next book is going to be a completely different adventure? Or is this the same adventure that's being spread out over the 3 books? I feel like that would make sense because of where we are. It would be very rushed to get to the very end of that adventure in the next 30% of the book. So maybe it is just stretched out over 3 books. I don't know. I genuinely have no idea. I've not heard anyone talk about the fact that they're looking forward to the second book, which is very interesting to me. But this book, I've also been told, thanks to Morgan over at Discord, honestly, so helpful. The amount of knowledge that she comes out with, so helpful. But this book is actually set 1,000 years prior to the other series that they've done, which, oh, I can't remember the name of that series. It's genuinely gone. I've got no idea. But there is another series by this author, it's another trilogy, and this one is set 1,000 years prior to that, which is interesting. And I think I would actually now be intrigued to pick up that series because it's not one that I'd ever been that interested in, but now I know what the writing style's like, things like that. I think I would be intrigued to pick it up and give it a try. Maybe it'll be one that again I get on Kindle or from the library or something, but yeah, I like it. It's really fun, really entertaining, and considering that I haven't been in a massive fantasy mood, having a book that is, well, a fantasy book, but it's so different to anything I've read before because of the setting of it all and everything, I think it just really works. Although it did really make me want to watch Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm pretty sure there are certain scenes that have been adapted from that movie franchise into this, and I say franchise rather than just film because there were points that I was like, oh, that reminds me from this film and that reminds me from that film. And it did kind of make me want to go watch them, but they aren't on Netflix, so I couldn't do that. I mean, it was good. It's really funny, entertaining. I like everything I've already said about it. I'm just really happy that it's all just ramped up a lot, which I think is great. And I'm very interested to see how it's going to go because the stakes just keep getting higher and higher, and I really love it. And I honestly don't feel like any of our characters are safe, which is quite refreshing because sometimes you'll get some fantasy books where the stakes are meant to be high but you don't believe that anything's going to happen to your characters. Or the other side of that, you get cozy books where you know nothing's going to happen to your characters but then the stakes aren't anywhere near as high as this, whereas this is actually a book that feels like we've got high stakes with a possibility of something happening to our characters, and I appreciate that. I don't know, I think it works. I think it's a great book. If you haven't picked it up but you've been interested in it, do give it a read because I think it was very good. Just maybe kind of stick with that first 100 pages because it's a little bit of a slow build up, but not even slow in a bad way, just slow in the sense that we're getting the character development. We're setting the scene of how much Amina actually has to lose, all of these different things. So I think that's pretty good, to be fair. And I love how, actually I keep forgetting to say, every so often it will break the barrier with telling the story by Amina talking to the person that is writing this story, and she'll break that barrier and she'll be like, are you sure you want to go into this detail? Are you sure you want to know about these certain things? We can skim over this. And then she'll have like a little argument of like, yes, I know you can write it well. That's not the point that I'm saying. And it's like a little side tangent within it that I just think is quite refreshing every so often. And so you do get a lot of foreshadowing of things are going to get bad because that is what Amina tells the person writing this story a lot. But I think it works. So yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying it. I'm glad I'm finally fully invested because it's definitely a good book and definitely one that I'll be continuing, although I did not expect it to add to my series total, but that's fine. Now, I haven't actually read any more of Mary Shelley's Transformation. Still only read that first short story, but yesterday evening I did pick up Harrow the Ninth because there was a little short story in here, or like a little excerpt that I hadn't read yet. At the back of this story we had the original story from the Locked Tomb universe, As Yet Unseen, and it was Cohort Intelligence Files, and I was really feeling like I want to read this, and I filmed my September TBR. Spoiler alert, Nona the Ninth didn't get onto it, and I'm kind of upset about that, but that TBR game was just wild. But this reminded me how much, one, I love this series because it's amazing. It's a sci-fi series. It's fantastic. If you haven't heard me talking about it, I got quickly obsessed, and my mid-year wrap-up is basically telling you to go read this series. This is like little, almost like a diary of one of the people that we met in the first book in Gideon the Ninth. It reminded me that actually I need to make sure I read Nona the Ninth soon because this series is so complex that some of the things I was like, wait, who's that character again? What happened here? Because some of the stuff didn't get mentioned in Harrow the Ninth. So some of the characters only got mentioned in Gideon the Ninth. And so then you had Harrow's the Ninth story and all of that chaos that happened. And so now we're getting reintroduced to the characters again at the back. And I'm like, wait, what? But at the same time, Tamsin does not hold your hand through this. It's very much you're expected to remember what's going on. So I need to make sure I read Nona soon. Otherwise I'm going to forget the details, and this is a very detail orientated series, so it's definitely a series that is probably better read back to back. So I think what's going to happen is I'm going to read Nona the Ninth 100% in October. I cannot have it any other way if I can't fit into September as an extra read. Then when the 4th book comes out, I'm going to reread the first 3 books because I don't want the 4th book in hardback anyway. All my books are in paperback. I will either buy an ebook copy and then buy the paperback later, or I will just wait for the paperback and do my reread of the first 3 books. I definitely need to make sure I reread them. This series is so complex that you can't not read them all together in a short space of time. But I love this series. It is so good, so entertaining. But yeah, it was just a short little snippet. I'm not even going to mention what happened in it because it kind of continues on from Gideon the Ninth, kind of links into some of the things we saw in Harrow the Ninth, but it's kind of a weird one. But it was interesting and kind of creepy and gory, I'm not gonna lie. And some of that where you're questioning that is not ethical at all what you're doing. But it was good. I enjoyed it. But yes, it did remind me that apart from a couple of the characters who we continue to see in Harrow the Ninth, I was a bit like, what happened to you again? Why are we in this situation? And I feel like I will remember, but also it's a case of make sure you read it soon. Make sure you read it soon, Kirsten. So that's the reading updates. Now, after lunch with my mum, I did come back home, but there is a charity shop like right next door to my flat. I don't know why, but I was getting called into this charity shop, and yeah, I'm glad I did because I got 2 really good books. I'm very pleased with it. So continuing on, my collection of the British Library crime classic, we have Murder of a Lady, which is a Scottish mystery by Anthony Wynne, is in a castle, a gloomy and forbidden place in the Scottish Highlands, and one night the body of Mary Gregor is found. She's been stabbed to death in the bedroom, but the room is locked within and the windows are barred. It's going to be a fun locked room murder mystery. It sounds really good, plus I really like this cover and it was cheap, so I was very happy to get that. Also, a lot of you did tell me that actually the crime classics, you don't have to read them in a particular order, they're just a good collection to get into, so I'm very happy with that. Don't think they're necessarily cozy. I mean, judging by that doesn't sound cozy, but it should be a good time regardless. And then we have Miss Benson's Beetle by Rachel Joyce, and this is a book I've been interested in reading because of the book castle. Her channel, ooh, I love her channel. Alice is such an amazing person. Like, her aesthetic is phenomenal. The way she talks about books is so good. But this is a book that she's constantly talking about, and it's one that I've had on my wish list for a while, and I just saw it sitting there in the charity shop and it is in such good condition. Now this one, as far as I know, is just a slice of life historical fiction book, but it does sound absolutely wonderful, and the way Alice has described it so many times, it just really makes me intrigued for this book. But we're following Marjorie Benson, who abandons her dead-end job and advertises for an assistant to accompany her on an expedition. She is going to travel to the other side of the world to search for a beetle that may or may not exist. And so you have these 2 companions that go off in search of this beetle and maybe discover themselves as well. But it looks so beautiful, and the way Alice has described it so many times, the way she's always recommending it. But I mean, like, this is stunning. I can't believe how good this was, and it was $1.99. I'm sorry, but I had to. So I'm very pleased with my intuition to actually go out and get this. That is the update for today. I'm hoping to finish Amina today. I have a train ride into London and a few other bits, so hopefully I can get it all done. We'll see. But right, I need to stop rambling on. Let's go update a different video and then chill out, start editing and get ready to start my day, I guess. good afternoon. I have just finished The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi. I literally finished it like 20 minutes ago, and oh my god did it get bonkers. From that 50% mark where I had that twist that I'd guessed, it literally just batshit. Like, it was mad. Some of the stuff that was happening, I just could not have ever have guessed that was going to happen. Some of the little things towards the end of the book, I was like, oh, okay, well, because of this is likely to happen. In general, I had no idea where this plot was going to go and how things were going to go. Some things ended up being very convenient towards the end, but I think that was just to kind of speed it up and wrap up the conclusion. Otherwise, it would have been a much bigger book, I feel like. Definitely some of those points could have been slowed down, but like I say, I think maybe that was just to preserve on the length of the storyline, which I'm not opposed to. I don't mind that. I think it worked. Like, I knew it was going to get fast paced. This is definitely a book, as I said, we start on that slow pace and then it just creeps up and then goes really fast paced towards the end. I liked the way it ended. With regards to how this trilogy is going to work, we do wrap up the plot line of this story in this one book, and then going forward there will be other adventures around different things that we get told in the latter half of the book, which I enjoyed. I'm looking forward to seeing how it's all going to go, how Amina is going to tackle these things. I think it's going to be really fun and really entertaining to see. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this. This was definitely a fun time. Please, it got picked for the Discord book club pick, because otherwise I probably would never have picked this one up. But now I really like it. Now I know I enjoy Shannon Chakraborty's writing. I know I will get the second book eventually. It's not out yet, so I'm not sure when that's being published, but I will get to that one eventually. That was really good fun. I would like to give the David Bad trilogy a try, which I know has had great reviews. I know so many people love that trilogy. It's just not a trilogy that I've ever been interested in reading, but now I know the writing style and I really like it. It's definitely one that I would be given a try. So yeah, this was great. This worked really well. I'm really pleased that the Discord book went off well, and it seems to be that a lot of people are enjoying this book, which is really good. I didn't think I would enjoy this sort of adventure seafaring fantasy as much as I did, but I did really enjoy it, and it was really fun seeing those fantasy elements and how it all kind of worked with mythology as well, and that was really entertaining, really interesting to see. So I liked it. I think this was a very good book to finish on. Now, I haven't actually read any more from the short story collection of Transformation. I will continue reading this throughout the month, but I liked that first one that we read, as we know, and I did read the little short story within the Locked Tomb universe, reminding me that I need to get onto this series as soon as possible because I am going to forget the details. But I really like this, and it was nice just to have that little break, The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi, with a couple of short stories. Like, that was actually really enjoyable to do it like that, because I'm quite happy to read just the one book the whole way through, but it is quite nice to break it up with a couple of short stories. I find I really am enjoying that, which I know I've been saying quite a lot lately, that I'm liking having a short story collection on the go. So it was really good. I've enjoyed this reading week. It's been a bit of a chaotic week because this was my last week off, so now I'm back to work today, and it has been a busy time. Like, I've been a lot more active this week than I was in my first week off, although I just checked how many books I've actually read during my time off, and in total I have read 11 books. Now, some of them are really short, like 2 manga and a little poetry thing, so some are really short. That's still a really impressive amount. I'm surprised, but I did have a lot of different videos ongoing and different things that I was doing, so it was really nice to have the first week to properly relax. This week, actually go out, socialise, do a few more things while still getting reading done, and now I feel really ready to go back to work. Although, saying that, yesterday while I was out, I did pick up one book while I was out, and that was at Forbidden Planet because it was only $2.99. Midnight Never Come by Marie Brennan, which is the first book in the Onyx Court series, and this is quite funny because I've bought every book from Forbidden Planet for $2.99 in this series, but I did it in the wrong order. I got number 3 first, then I got number 2, and now I have number 1. So when I saw that, I had to pick this one up. I have not started this series. The idea was that I was going to finish The Natural History of Dragons, then start on this series, which I've been delaying because I never had book 1. And yes, I have been told that this is a series you can read out of order, and it is a little bit slow, and it's not like amazing. People don't enjoy it anywhere near as much as A Natural History of Dragons, but I'm still really happy to give it a try, and considering I've got every single book in a sale, I'm very happy with that. So that was my little purchase yesterday, which was really nice. And yeah, that's it. We're at the end of this weekly reading vlog. I've had a good time. It's been busy, but it's been good. Okay, I'm going to keep repeating myself on those same things, so we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if you've read The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi and what you thought of it, or if you now want to read it. You'll have to let me know, because honestly it was so entertaining. It was so much fun. The chaos that ensued towards the end of that book was just hilarious. It was really good, and I am really intrigued to see where it's going to go next. And I like our characters so much. I really like Amina. I like Dahlia our poisoner. I like Majid our navigator, and Tinbu, and it's just all the characters, like, they're so lovely and amazing. And Jamal, and that twist there I really liked. I really liked that storyline to it. I thought that was really heartwarming. So Jamal is the scribe, the person that is writing down the story that Amina is saying, and seeing their story was really nice as well. And that's kind of throughout the book. It's like a little subplot, and then you get to the end of the book and it all kind of slots into place, and I'm like, oh yeah, I like that. That was really good as well. Fantastic book, really recommend. I am gonna go. So thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate every one of you that takes the time to watch these videos, whether you're a silent watcher, whether you interact or not. I genuinely really appreciate it, so thank you. If you've made it this far but you just don't know what to comment, but you'd like to let me know that you were here, you can always leave a little pirate ship emoji. I don't know if there is a pirate ship, but something piratey in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please do consider giving it that thumbs up, subscribing, commenting. Those 3 things really help this channel out. My social media links and anyone I've mentioned will be linked below for you, and I will of course catch you in the very next video.